Hello and welcome. Today I wanted to do a review of something special. This saber in front of me is a custom finishing job from Jesse Ganteaume. Now Jesse doesn't really do this yet, so mostly I'm just showing this off so that you can take a look at what he does. But he's starting to get into the idea of customizing for other people, so I wanted to show you a little bit about his skill set and highlight a couple of the sabers that he sent me. Now, Jesse is a finisher by trade, but he's been doing a lot of work recently with the manufacturer Kybers sabers, which is what the base model on these was. And this is really putting a Kybers saber to a good use because they're pretty plain all by themselves, but he's really jazzed them up. So before I get into these specific sabers, I wanted to mention that what Jesse does, he's a finisher, so this is not an etch job, nor is it a powder coat. These things are paint, but the prep work that he's put into it and the paint that he's used and the blends that he's used have made them pretty durable. One of these I've managed to chip the paint on a little bit, but the other one, his more recent attempt, I've dropped it a few times and the paint has not chipped, so it's actually held up very well. So that said, let me go ahead and take a look at the sabers that he sent me here. By the way, I'm featuring my new Cthulhu-themed saber stand because I figured it worked with these. But when Jesse sent them, he sent these things with little name tags. He named them and put them on, or put a little piece of weathered paper on an antique-looking string on them, so that each saber came in with an individual name. Now, when he was making these, he asked me a few times for design cues, and by and large, I just told him to follow his bliss, because I find that usually works out better when I'm dealing with artisans like Gary Ripper from Ripper Blades or Sacktown Steve from Sacktown Sabers. It's better just it's better to give them some design notes, but for the details of the design, just let the artist do their thing, because you end up being pleasantly surprised most of the time, and that was definitely the case with these. So this one here that he sent me was named the Cephalus, so he actually named this after my channel name, and it's a Kybers saber. So it started out as a solid black, and then he prepped it and he painted it to this green patina sort of look to it. So it's got a paint and it's got a texture. He put some gold filigree at the top, and he put some Cthulhu letters down here at the bottom, inspired by some of the Necronomicon prints from an artist called Zeranos. Let me go ahead and give you a bit of a closer look at this. So we can see the gold here. Looks like it's sort of worn off of the brass patina. We've got some filigree here. The paint did not fill the screw holes, so these screws are still accessible and usable. Okay, down here we've got gold tinted screws, button, recharge port. Okay, the gold here, you can see a little bit of the rust note that's in there. And then there's the lettering, which is on under a pretty durable clear coat. And then down at the bottom, we've got a leather wrap and a gold pommel. All right, so it's a very, very neat design. And I remember that he said when he made this that he never imagined that he would find himself making a green saber. But the sort of antique patina of this really, really makes it look, it's sort of a black, gold, green mix. And it makes it look very ancient and artifact-like, which is really a nice effect, especially if you're going for a Cthulhu-themed saber. So he made this one, and my attempt here is I decided I had one of these sabers laying around, and he sent me a staff coupler that he antique golded, or worked with antique gold here. And so I decided, I'll just go ahead and do a tribute. So I played around with the idea of taking the other black one that I had and trying to paint this up with some automotive paint to try to replicate the idea. And my design gets the point across, but it's nowhere near as subtle as his. But together, I think it makes for a pretty striking saber staff, especially if I put a little bit more work into this. I don't think I'm ever going to approach what we've got over here, but that's not my skill set. But this is just a first attempt at it, and I think it worked out pretty well. But this is Jesse's version, and like I said, again, my paint's going to chip. His has been pretty dang durable. So this is the Cephalus. The other one that he sent me, he called the Nautilus. Now, this is a different Kybers saber. I'm trying to remember what the base design on this is. But this was his first swing at it, and he was going with a bone texture, or a bone finish rather, and glyphs. and trying to make it look, again, like an ancient artifact here. So we got that same filigree. These holes right here are rivets, so they light up when the saber lights up. Okay, he gave me a Elder Sign kill key right there that I rather like. And then we've got the Cthulhu glyphs on this bone shroud. And you can see right... Where'd it go? Right on the pommel here somewhere is that chip. Right there is the chip that I managed to put in this. But again, that took a little bit of work, and I've put this one through more work than that, and this one hasn't chipped. So this one he called the Nautilus, which I think is also a real interesting design. Sticks with the Cthulhu deep sea sort of feel to it. The thing about this, he was still sort of getting a feel for it, and some of the lines, like the bone accents on the claws, are not as clean as they could be, but by and large, this is very striking. So, just a quick show-off of these sabers. I'm really appreciative of these sabers. They look fantastic, and not only that, but they're durable enough that they're working sabers, so I don't have to worry too much about taking them out and doing stuff with them, and the saber stock is fairly straightforward. So they hold the charge and no frills design, which is one of the benefits of something like a Kybers saber, because I don't have to worry about all of the settings and all of that. It just is what it is, and it does what it does, and it looks fantastic with this finish on it. So here we have it, the Nautilus and the Cephalus from Jesse Ganteaume, and I hope this video has been of use to you. Like I said, I'll tag him, so if he does start doing more of this stuff, you can inquire. He's working on another one for me right now. That I won't talk about because my wife might watch this video and it's supposed to be a surprise. But pretty neat stuff, pretty solid design concepts, and definitely some very nice craftsmanship here. So there we have it. Please join me back next time, and I'll see you for more reviews.